Episode 3 starts from where the previous episode ended. Alya comes to her house after shopping and then her elder sister comes and hugs her. Alya's elder sister's name is Maria. After this, Maria goes to the room and asks Alya, "You look a bit sad to me. Tell me what happened." Alya says nothing. Maria says, "You can't fool my eyes. Tell me what happened." So, now Alya tells. "During my shopping I met her childhood friend." Hearing this, Maria says, "Really, you become very impatient when it comes to him. At last a boy has come who has been able to increase the beat of your heart." Hearing this, Alya says, "I don't know what you are thinking. But it is not what you are thinking. We are just friends." So Maria asks, "So how did you become friends?" "As far as I know you don't like lazy boys at all." And then Alya tells, "About 6 years ago, there was a school in Vladivostok of Russia, and here a teacher of a class asked the children to form groups so that they could prepare a report, and the one who gave the best report would get a prize, and in this class was our Alya, Kujiki Alya. After this, Leah makes her team with some children. After this, Leah comes to a flower shopkeeper. She tells him that we have to prepare a report on local business for a project of our school, and in this way Leah starts preparing her report by going to different shops. But later she comes to know that the rest of her team has not started their work because they feel that they still have a lot of time because this report has to be submitted next week, and they also tell the same to Alya that this is just a report. You do not need to worry so much about it, and you are also making notes. But after listening to their words, Leah shouts at them, "After all, why don't you people take the work seriously?" But due to this, they have a fight, so the teacher comes there and stops them. Now even after all the children leave the class, Leah does her work, but after a week the teacher announces that the best report is of Group B and this group is not of Alya. Alya feels very bad about this. After this, while going home, she was thinking that I wish others had also done their work seriously, otherwise maybe I am thinking bad. I should never have trusted others. Trusting others means always being sad. So from now on I will do all my work myself. After this, the prince season comes and Alya comes to middle school. Other children are very surprised to know that Alya has passed a very difficult transfer exam, and after passing it, Leah has come to Japan. Here a boy from her class asks, "You know Japanese very well. Have you lived in Japan before?" Leah says yes, a long time ago. After this, as soon as the bell rings, all the children go and sit on their chairs, but after this Leah's eyes fall on a boy who was sleeping. Leah wakes him up because the class is about to start, and after this we come to know that this is our cues. After this Alya says, "Hello, my name is Makalowa Kujohannes Ku," and he introduces himself, but seeing his friend Hikaru says, "Hey, I did not know that you are also in this class." So Hikaru tells that Takashi is in this class, and here she sees that he left her and started talking to his friend, and during the next subject Alya comes to know that Q's forgot to bring his book, so she asks Hikaru to share his book, and after this in the class she sees that Q's is lagging behind in the race, and during the next subject Q's sleeps during the class, and now she thinks that she has seen him. Even in such a good school there is a lazy boy like him. Now after this the weather changes. The time comes for the school festival, which is after 14 days, in which their class is going to do a haunted house, so the children start getting very worried due to the preparations of this festival. Leah was also doing her work, and even after a lot of time, Leah does not go home because she has to finish her work. But seeing Alya in this manner, two girls talk among themselves that why do they have to work so hard for the school festival. Hearing this, Alya remembers her childhood, and then again blood starts coming out from putting a needle in her finger. But after this, Leah puts a bandage on her finger and says that I will finish my work, no matter what happens, even if I always stay alone. But then he enters the class. "Q's." Alya asks, "What are you doing here?" "Q's." He says, "I have just come to do my work. By the way, you should also go home now. Tomorrow we all will finish this work together." Alya says, "I will go home only after finishing my work." Hearing this, Q's tells Alya that the handicraft club has agreed to make our costumes. "See, I have permission to stay in school overnight." She asks, "How did you do all this after all?" He says, "I just asked for some help from the old student council president, and I told the handicraft club that the boys of our class will help them in their work, and the boys will easily agree to go there because they will get a chance to show off in front of the girls. So now you should also go home. There is no need to work so hard here." But hearing this she shouts and says to Kujal, "What do you mean? I want to make something as good as I am capable of, and I want to make my work the best. I know that I am doing all this because of my ego, and I also understand that you people are not as serious about this work as I am, and that is why I am trying so hard to complete this work. Is it wrong for me to do all this?" So Koji says that you are working so hard on the wrong things. School festival means the whole class working together on something, so instead of working hard on these these things, you should focus on how you can motivate the whole class to work, but maybe these words of mine will make you even more angry, so forgive me. Too, and I also know that you are trying your best, but after hearing Q's words, she takes her bag and says I am leaving, but while leaving, Alya was thinking about what is her problem. Now the next day, Takashi tells the whole class that we all will prepare for the school fest the whole night today and will also play some fun games. We will have our pre-festival party, and after listening to his words, the whole class gets motivated. Now after this, the whole class starts preparing for the school festival with all their heart, in which 6 days are left and Alya is made a ghost, and here Alya is also happy with this work, and after this the day of the festival comes, and in the haunted house, Leah and everyone else come as ghosts, and due to their scary appearance, many children were running away from them in fear, and hence their class gets the Best Attraction Award. Seeing all this, Leah is quite surprised. After this the children dance together at night, but Leah was watching all this from a distance, and then she sees a jump in front of her. He says to Alya that really there are a lot of old-fashioned behaviors in this school. Who dances like this after the school festival? But after this Alya sits next to Q's. Q asks why won't you dance? All the boys will be eager to dance with you. Wait a minute, is it that you don't know how to dance? So Leah tells that she has been practicing this dance since childhood and came to ask her for a dance. She has refused all the boys. Hearing this, Q says, wow, the stone-hearted princess of our school, and here Alya comes to know that other children have been calling her by this name for a long time. By the way, looking at you, it seems that you are not happy to know this. Why is this so, Leah? She says, will you stop asking me so many questions, and by the way, I don't like that they call me princess. Hearing this, it seems as if I am different from everyone else. It is true that I was born with very good looks and talent, but that is why I never stop trying, and if someone calls me princess then he is ignoring all my efforts which I have made to reach here. Hearing this, Ku says, so okay, I will not say anything like this to you. But after this, Alya says, thank you Guj, you were right and I was wrong. If I had tried to do everything alone, then I would never have been able to experience the school festival like this. Also forgive me for shouting at you that day. Ku says, it's okay, I have just done some simple paperwork. You and Takashi have done a lot more work than me. So Alya says, but I want to apologize to you and thank you. Can I do something for you? After thinking for a while, Ku says, there is a custom in Russia where people call others by their special nicknames. So what will be the nickname for your name? Alya says, don't think too much. My family calls me Alya. Hearing this, Kuj says, so can I also call you by this name? And Kuj is doing this because all the boys of his school like Alya. But Kuj will be the only boy who will call Alya, and for this Kuj adds. But then 3 boys come and ask Alya if she can dance with any of them. And on this matter, all 3 of them start arguing among themselves that with whom Alya will dance. Alya tries to refuse them, but they do not listen to her. In the next moment, Kuj holds Alya's hand and while taking her says, sorry friends, she is mine, let's go Alya. And at this time when Kujilia's hand was taking her, Alya's heart started beating very fast. After this, Kuj says to Alya that you have been learning this dance since childhood, right? So let's see how good you are in this dance, princess. So now Alya also starts dancing with Kuj, but the next day when Alya comes to school, Kuj finds her sleeping again. But after waking up, Kuj says, why are you forgetting me like I am garbage? She says, because you are garbage. But after this she says in Russian that last night, you looked so cool to me and now I understand why. I started liking Kuj. By the way, hearing all this, Maria says, wow, what a story you have. It touched my heart. What you are saying, I thought there is nothing like that between you two, but after listening to your story it seems like it is a love story. So Alya says, we are just friends. She says, yes, the journey from friendship to love. I also had a similar journey. And after this Maria shows someone's picture in a locket, and after this she says that when the time comes the boys who can handle everything really shine like stars. Alya says yes, when the time comes he can be trusted. And after this Maria starts telling about her love, that how her love saved her from a dog, but then Alya stops Maria and says, you stop talking about love. By the way, the next day in school, Kuj comes to the student council office to help Ki because Ki did not come to school today, and here he meets Maria, Alya's elder sister, and student council secretary. Kuj also tells about herself and says, I heard you need someone's help to go shopping. So Maria says that since you are Alya's friend, you are my friend too, so you should call me Masha. So now Kuze calls her Masha, but in the next moment Masha stops Kuze and says yes, you did a great job again, but in the next moment she stares at Kuze and asks him what is your full name. He tells her that Kuze is Masachika, and on hearing this, time stops for Masha for a moment. Then the president asks what is the matter? So in the next moment Masha leaves his hand and says hey, I am sorry, and after this she goes from there in Russian and says that now we should leave. Kuze asks what did you say? She says I am sorry, I said now we should leave, and after this both of them come. Kuze has come to do shopping for Masha, but then Masha's eyes go to a soft dry. It is exactly like Alya's. How about we buy a stuffed dye that resembles every student council officer? Kujo says that girl's dye is different, but will the president like it? But then Masha brings out a dye for the president that looks like him. But then Kujo explains that there is no need to buy all this, so Masha agrees to him, but she buys this cat for herself because it reminds her of Alya. After shopping, both of them start leaving, and Kujo was wondering if she always does such things. After this they come in front of a shop, and here Masha gives the stuffed dye to Kujo and says take care of Alya, and after this she says that both of you look very good together, and after this she tries to take a photo of both of them together, but Kujo refuses. By the way, Masha has come to this shop to buy some tea. Masha asks Kujo here. Kujo says, I don't know much about all these things, and he says in his mind that she knows much more about these things than me. Our mother has taught him a lot, but I always stayed with my father. Because from a young age, Kuze's parents started living separately. Kuze with his father and Kuze with his mother. He was thinking all this when Masha says to him, what happened? Kuze, you seem to be in a lot of pain to me, and after this she goes close to Kuze and says don't worry, okay, and by Masha doing this, Kuze gets a very relaxing and familiar feeling, but then Masha applies hot tea on his back and Kuze gets nervous and the teacup drops from Masha's hand, and seeing both of them close in this way, we see that Alya's doll is getting angry, and with this the episode ends. If you like the video then like it. If you are new to the channel then keep subscribing. Do share your opinion by commenting like this, and in the end like this slogan.